When I'm making an artist's book, I always ask myself, how can I best integrate the spirit of the book's words, of its text, with its sculptural form and design? For me, words and images go together. They should always be integrally related. Almost every aspect of the Amichai Windows is symbolic. The simulacrum of a Jerusalem window, the rough texture of loft-dried abaca that feels like Jerusalem stone, the olive green silk lining that evokes Jerusalem's dusky landscape, the blind embossment of a Jewish star. In fact, each poetic spread is wrapped in its own triptych that needs to be opened like a window. In making the Amichai Windows, a limited edition of 18 Yehuda Amichai poems, I wanted people to experience it not only by reading the poems, but by lifting a curtain, handling its triptych, searching for its blind embossments. I strove to create an intimate, haptic experience, to slow down the viewer and to immerse them in each individual poem and its images. No screens, no electronics, no devices, just a poem and you. Yehuda Amichai was born in 1924 to an Orthodox family in Würzburg, Germany. A widely acclaimed poet of the 20th century, he immigrated to Palestine in the mid-1930s and spent the rest of his life trying to make sense of the calamitous events that he and his generation endured. He won numerous prizes and has been translated into more than 35 languages. I loved Amichai's poetry for many years. I still remember when a dear friend in Israel treated me to my first Hebrew copy. It was his work Akshav Bara'ash, Now Amid the Noise. It is so worn from the hours that I spent reading and rereading it. Amichai's poetry resonated deeply for me, as if he were speaking directly to my heart. I hosted him and his wife Hannah in Philadelphia when he came to speak at a conference for young American Jews. We spent a lot of time together that weekend, and he spoke to me as a father. He encouraged me to write my own poetry and to love again. Both, he said, could help me to regain my balance after years of living amid war. When I later became a book artist, I thought of doing a collection of Amichai's work. He had already died, but I wrote to Hannah in January 2007, and she gave me permission. Almost exactly 10 years later, I knocked on her door with a copy of the Amichai Windows for her. Through my artistic collages, I mirrored Amichai's poetic technique of borrowing images from different periods of his life, growing up in Würzburg, Germany, serving in the British Army in Cairo during World War II, or fighting in several wars in Israel and parenting in Jerusalem. Aside from playing with the visibility of images in a window, I was also toying with the materiality of the book itself. These multi-layered spreads, which include letterpress poems, blind embossed images, gold leaf, tipped-on papers and botanicals, they function like dreamscapes. I spun my own metaphors out of Amichai's words. אני רוצה חלונות, רק חלונות. I want windows, only windows. אני רוצה בגדים שיהיו קלים ורפים על גופי. I want clothes light and loose on my body. כמו ידיים מנפנפות לשלום, בלי כאב, like hands waving farewell without pain. אני חרד ממה שהעבר יעשה לי בעתיד. I am fearful of what the past will do to me in the future. Umibet HaKnesset shel Yalduti, and from my childhood synagogue, Nisharu Rak Hashamayim, only the heavens remain. She'otam Ra'iti Az Derech Chalonotav, that I saw back then through its windows. Elohim, Ani B'tzara Gdola, God, I am in great distress. In one of the 18 poems, The Jews, I've reproduced a photograph of a Berlin shopfront with anti-Semitic graffiti scrawled in its windows. Atop these windows, I have blind embossed the Hebrew word chai, which means alive or lives. This Hebrew word is hidden in each of the triptychs as a tribute to Amichai. In fact, it is the very last part of his name, which means, my people lives. I also put the chai in this window as a way of saying, see, we are still here, and we are still alive. In addition, you'll see a torn bit of super, the fine mesh that helps form the spine of a book. I'm using the bookmaker's materials here as a metaphor for the burning of books and Torah scrolls that occurred in Nazi Germany. I am also ironically playing here with the word itself, super, and the idea of racial superiority. I hope the Amichai Windows will resonate deeply for those who experience it. By combining all of these elements, I aspired to create a work of art out of the book form, and to give people a glimpse within Amichai's poetry and within themselves.